Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Ashton Jackson. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys versus Kansas City Chiefs. If you're up to the video, I would appreciate if you guys would like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment, and share my video with anyone who you think will enjoy my content. For both teams. First, we're going to start with the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to be without three players. Noah Gray, their tight end, which is more of their durable, and more elusive tight end than what they have currently with Travis Kelce. That's one of their big play guys. And when Mahomes is looking for, got to have it down. If Rasheed and Travis are locked up in coverage, they look for Noah Gray. And especially when Patrick Mahomes skips the pocket, he looks for Noah Gray as well on a lot of improvisation plays and things of that nature. So he's very pivotal to their team. He's going to be out with a concussion that he suffered on Sunday versus the Colts. They have a cornerback, Chris Roland Wallace. He's going to be out. And then Trey Smith, that's the big headliner. That's the one that is not going to play. That's their star right guard that's not going to play, which is, again, that's going to be a great and plus for Dallas with the way in which Quentin Williams and Osadizua played last week versus the Philadelphia Eagles. I like that matchup, and I favor the Dallas Cowboys defensive line versus the Chiefs offensive line, especially when I feel like you can get the right tackle, Jawan Taylor as well. I don't feel like he's that great of a player. Creed Humphrey's still a dude, and then you got Josh Simmons who's playing on left tackle. Left guard is Kingsley Sumatau. That's who's playing left guard for him. So I believe we can get this offensive line. But the big noticeable player that they're getting back, even though they are losing Trey Smith, is they are getting back Isaiah Pacheco. Chiefs fans would love to have both, but if they were able to keep one and stash other player until the next time they play another game, they would rather have Trey Smith for this game and then sit Isaiah Pacheco for another game, and then they'll just boogie like that. But it is what it is for the Kansas City Chiefs. We're dealing with injuries, and so are they. For us, the two noticeable players that you need to watch out for is, one is Tyler Guyton. He's dealing with a high ankle sprain. He's not going to be able to play this game. And he's probably, just for precautionary reasons, the Dallas Cowboys are not going to play him also versus the Detroit Lions. But we'll find out next week, though. But right now, Kevin Carson, he's the bolded one when you look at the injury report. He has a hamstring injury right now. He was limited all in Tuesday and Wednesday practices, and he will be questionable leading into game time tomorrow. So that's about it for the injury report. The number one thing that the Dallas Cowboys have to do to stay and probably win this game is you have to start fast versus this team. The Kansas City Chiefs, in my opinion, are a better team than the Philadelphia Eagles. Record doesn't say it, but they have the better quarterback. They have really good wide receivers as well. They have a really good defense as well. But I feel like what separates the Chiefs versus everybody else is the amount of experience that they have with their star players like Chris Jones, Karlaftis, Kelce, Mahomes, Rasheed, things of that nature, right? Trent McDuffie, I think that's where they win a lot of games. But most of it is because of Steve Spagnuolo and Andy Reid. That's the main reason why they're in these games. And plus, their star players shine when they need them to the most, right? We've seen them do it all the time in the playoffs and things of that nature, right? So you have to start fast. I'm not saying that, you got to come out the gate swinging. I would love for that to happen. You come out, you get the ball first, or when you get your first offensive drive, you put up 7 points. I would love for that to happen. But even if it's a slower start game, that's fine. But you can't shoot yourself in the foot with turnovers, penalties, going for it on fourth down. You don't have a better play called up for it on fourth down. I don't want those type of things happening to us on Thanksgiving, because if it does, this is a team that will take advantage of your miscues. It will blow you out the building, and this will be one of your worst Thanksgiving games if you shoot yourself in the foot like how you did on Sunday. So the Dallas Cowboys have to start fast. Number two, offensively, man, we have to execute in the red area when it comes to touchdowns. That's how you beat Patrick Mahomes. The formula to beat Patrick Mahomes is a formula to how you beat any great quarterback. That's with 7 points, and that's with getting pressure in A and B gap. That's what it's going to take to beat Patrick Mahomes and all these great Hall of Fame quarterbacks. That's what it takes to beat those type of characters and beat those type of quarterbacks. We've seen it all throughout history. We've seen it in the past 10 to 15 years when most of the years I've been watching football. That's how it typically goes, right? So Offensively, once we get down to the red area, we have to punch it in. If we're not able to punch it in at the 1 inch yard line, we have a problem. We have something that we need to execute, and there's something that we need to that Brian Schottenheimer has to fix moving forward. But once we get down to that 1 yard line, as long as nobody jump off sides, you should have Hunter Lipke lined up at fullback, have Javonte Williams give it off to Javonte, run behind your offensive line. You should be fine. It's not that simple. It's easier said than done, but I'm just saying that we have the artillery offensively to punch it in at the 1 inch yard line. Hell, even put in, I don't know why we're not running Dak Prescott on quarterback sneaks. I don't know if they're worried about fumbles, injuries. I think that's what they're concerned about. But Dak Prescott is a bigger quarterback, and I felt like if he's able just to lean forward with the offensive lineman that we do have, I think he should be able to get a yard when we need a yard. But if they're trying to protect him, I don't really know how to feel about that. But again, it's what they're going to do. So also, we got to utilize matchups, man, and mismatches when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, they have really good players, Trent McDuffie, Watson. Brian Cook is somebody that can be had in the back end. You can get their secondary. They're not unbeatable, but you have to utilize the mismatches when they're there, when they're playing off, and things of that nature, right? And another thing that we're going to be talking about is you have to pick up Steve Spagnuolo's crazy blitzes. He's going to send them, but to get away from those blitzes, you have to give yourself and put yourself in manageable third downs. You have to stay away from behind the 6. You can't be 2nd and 12, 2nd and 13. You can't be 3rd and 5, 3rd and 8, trying to get it on, got to have it downs and got to have it quarters. And you don't want that to happen when Steve Spagnuolo he's gonna mug, he's gonna show you 7, drop back 2, and send the other 2 that were initially mugging. He's gonna send 2 blitzers on opposite ends or on the same side. So it's very key that Dak's calling out the protections correctly. The offensive linemen are able to see it, and Javonte Williams is able to pick up the blitzes, or Malik Davis if he's back there on pass down situations. But it's very key. The way in which you won last week with how well your trenches played, you're going to need a repeat trenches performance for you to go out and beat the Kansas City Chiefs, in my opinion. You have to block up front, protect Dak Prescott, and you have to get to Patrick Mahomes. Take care of the football. Limit the penalties that you can do. Now, let's talk about defensively. Matt Eberflus, in my opinion, will have to mix things up coverage-wise. This is the best quarterback you've seen all year. But not only that, we already know what Patrick Mahomes possesses. He can be able to pick up on things, pick up on tendencies. He's an avid film watcher. You can tell by the way he communicates with his coordinators and Andy Reid. They constantly are in communication throughout the game. Him, Travis Kelce, and all his wide receivers. Mahomes has a next-level mentality when it comes to this game, and that's what separates him from everybody else in the league, in my opinion, right? No diss or no slight to Jalen Hurts, but I just feel like Mahomes is just a tier above everybody else, and that's fine. So, but what I mean by it is you can't be sitting in 95, 90+ percent zone coverage. I understand that we have been liking to run the 5 down and get an extra guy in coverage if we possibly can, because this Kansas City Chiefs team and Patrick Mahomes, they're not afraid to attack the middle of this defense. So let's make sure that, we're able to put our best 4 out there. I still believe your best 4 can be Osa, Quinnen, Jadeveon, Ezraku. If you still want to put your 3 defensive tackles out there, I'll put Osa at edge, Kenny Clark, Quinnen Williams, Ezraku. If like on a third and long and you need to get a Patrick Mahomes, that will be my in-game package. That will be your 4 best pass rushers you can put on the field. But that's what I want. I need Matt Eberflus to switch up defensively, because if you only run in a few coverages, Patrick Mahomes will pick up a beat on it and will pick you apart. And again, we don't need that happening. Let's make sure that we're collapsing the pocket on Patrick Mahomes. Let's not have him make off-schedule throws. Yes, he will sack himself. He will, roll out of the pocket, roll into a sack. He'll do a lot of things. He'll hold on to the ball too long, and the pocket will collapse onto him, and you could possibly get a fumble and things of that nature, right? So, again, let's make sure that we are getting to Patrick Mahomes and we are escaping that pocket and we're strengthening on him and we're not making sure that he's breaking contain. Because he breaks contain and he has that option where he can run or throw. It's going to put a lot of your linebackers and corners in a frenzy, and you don't want that big play that Patrick Mahomes can make. And again, watch your head when it comes to Patrick Mahomes. They will try to attack you in the secondary. Yeah, they love to do RPO plays. They lead the league, or if not, they're one of the league leaders in terms of throwing the ball at the line of scrimmage, behind the line of scrimmage, or just a few yards in front of the line of scrimmage. They're a team that's going to try to lull you to sleep, where they're going to do the RPO. They're going to throw the ball into the flats to Kelsey. They're going to throw the ball. They're going to try to get a slant with Rashee Rice or Xavier Worthy or Hollywood Brown. But if you're not able, to tackle in this game, that's another thing as well. That's why you have to tackle in this game. Don't let Patrick Mahomes throw for 350, and then once you hear Jim Nantz and Tony Romo breaking down the game, of his 350 yards, over 57% of his passes that were completed were yards after, yards after catch. Like, we have to make sure that we're tackling Rashee Rice in this game. Worthy will beat you deep. They'll try you with Tyquan Thornton. They're definitely going to try you deep in the secondary, because I believe they understand it. And if we know as fans that our secondary and that our safeties are a bit of a weak link and they're one of the weakest parts of our defense, Andy Reid and Mahomes, they know that as well. So let's make sure that, again, we have to get home. We have to tackle. And another thing, to shut down their RPOs. Let's make sure that we're continuing to shut down the run game. They have not been a team that's been able to run the ball that well. Let's make sure defensively we're able to stop their run game as well. All right, talk about getting pressure in A and B gap. Let's get some takeaways as well. And offensively, going back to the offensive side, I did forget to mention this point. Let's run the ball in this team. I feel that if you were able to run on Philly, most of your games, there should not be a game in which that the Dallas Cowboys are not able to run on a team. Now, are you going to run on a team like the Baltimore Ravens can, like how the 49ers can? No, but I do feel like you can have an adequate run game versus these top-notch and top-level D-lines and defenses that you do play. So I do feel like you establish your run game, because even when we were down 21-0 last week, the last game that we played on Sunday, the Dallas Cowboys did not shy away from running the ball, and that ended up helping them because you were able to utilize play action, which the Kansas City Chiefs defense are not that great when it's time to stop play action passes. So let's run the ball to set up the play action to get those guys like CeeDee Lamb, Ferguson, Pickens, all those guys the ball. So that's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.